Welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice. Join me as we explore spirituality, self-help, and channeling spirit. Hello and welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice, spiritual medium. Thank you for tuning in once more. In this week's show, I'm very excited as we're going to be talking about bless the people in your life story. Also in this week's episode, we have the channeling from the world of spirit, which sees me becoming a vessel for spirit to bring their wisdom and communications through. And then later on in the show, we have this week's energy forecast reading, which will hopefully help you navigate your way through the twists and turns of this week ahead. As I say, what we're going to be discussing today is bless the people in your life story. So what am I talking about when we use that statement there? I'm talking about showing that level of love and respect and gratitude for everybody that's been in your life story, that is in your life story, and that aren't in your life story at the moment, but will be at some point in the future. So first of all, let's discuss this in depth. I would certainly suggest that we all have a divine plan, a soul agreement that we've all made and had some role in putting together ahead of coming into our physical body in this lifetime, in this dimension on this planet of Earth. I would certainly say that we've made agreements with certain souls and other individuals to come and go in the rich tapestry of our life's unfoldment on our soul path for specific reasons. For reasons that in this dimension we can't fully comprehend or understand why that person did that to us and why this person came into our lives. We can't comprehend it in the depth that our soul did upon making that agreement. And like we say, all souls would have made agreements to make that connection with that person, play a role in that person's life, exit that person's life, move into another person's life. All of this has been predetermined, to my understanding and from what my guides have told me, before we actually incarnated here into our current physical body. So with this being said, why do these souls choose to embroider themselves into our lives? And I would say it's from the gift of contrast that we expand, that we move into ascension because of this contrast. So what am I talking about when I say contrast? I'm talking about, say, for example, things that we don't happen to like, situations that we don't like, something bad happening to us. Define bad, I hear you say. Bad can be anything. It depends on the individual, really, doesn't it? A classic example is a breakup. So like a marriage breakup or separation or something like that. Some people may perceive that as a good thing. Other people may perceive that as a bad thing. It depends upon the individual and where you happen to be on your timeline and what vibration you're vibrating at to make that conclusion, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. But I would say the gift of contrast, what that is something that we don't happen to be in alignment with. We don't happen to like. We're comfortable in our life. We're very relaxed, very comfortable. Everything's going tickety-boo. And then all of a sudden something happens, brings contrast into our life and shakes us from the core. And it takes us out of that vibration of feeling comfortable. I would say that is my definition of contrast in our life. And these people have made an agreement, including yourself in other people's timelines, to be that contrasting element. And contrast is a great thing in my experience. It's a blessing in disguise, although at the time we don't appreciate it or align with it. But in actual fact, sometimes we need either a person's vibration or their attitudes or their involvement in our life to shake our life up slightly, so that it snaps us out of that period in our life where we're not expanding, where we're not learning, where we're not moving forward in our life. We're just kind of coasting along and not necessarily getting anywhere, not adding to anybody, anything. We're just kind of sat in that vibration. And this person that comes into your life, it can be anybody, can't it? It can be a colleague, it can be a friend, a family member, a lover, a loved one. It can even be children. It can be absolutely anybody that can bring in this level of contrast into your life to shake you out of your comfort zone. And at the time, as I say, we're not particularly excited about the idea. In fact, we reject the idea of this contrast entering our life. But looking from the greater perspective, it will have a beautiful effect on everybody, whether you realize it at the time or not. But it will help you to grow and expand. And even the perpetrators of that contrast in your life, they also learn a lesson, during that experience. So it does benefit one and all, even if we can't see it at that moment in time, because let's face it, we are all connected in some way, shape or form. I would say on an energetic level. And so everybody will benefit from these interactions. And what I mean by that is we've all made soul alignments and soul agreements. And so we all expand, we all learn from the processes and interactions that we have with people in our life. So everybody benefits, even if the moment of impact, when you're going through that level of contrast, you can't understand it or recognize why me? Why is this happening to me? This is a question that we often ask ourselves when we're going through times of evolution, isn't it? Well, if we were to step back, see the bigger picture, like you did when you was contracting your soul alignments, your soul agreements for your time, your timeline there, then you would understand that this is a beautiful connection and everybody benefits from it. As all of the lessons add up collectively. So everybody's individual experiences, both sides of an argument, for example, the person that's wanting to be right, the person that is the other person that's wanting to be right, but is obviously wrong from the collective's point of view. But there's two sides to the coin, two different vibrations, two different emotions. Well, without those contrasting, opposing emotions, everything would just be the same, wouldn't it? And there would be no growth, no expansion. And that vibration of expansion that we talk about, those lessons that are learned from all angles, all parties, those vibrations go up into or add to the collective vibration of the universe, where everybody can benefit from that collective library energetically, frequency-wise, of experiences, of emotions. We can expand and grow. There used to be a series of books many years ago when I was a young boy, and these books were brilliant children's books. Now, I don't know if these are still in publication, but they were fantastic, and they were called Choose Your Own Adventure books. And so basically you would have a main story. The book would be about a certain narrative, but during the course of that story, as a reader, you were given free will, options, if you will. What I mean by this, it would say to you at the end of a chapter, if you want to walk down this pathway, turn to page 5 or whatever. If you'd like to meet up with this character, move to page 15. If you'd like to have a look round this particular town, move to page 27. I'm just giving examples now, but these books offered the choice of free will, how the narrative unfolds there. And so in many respects, I like to use this analogy for where we are in our life on our soul's progression. Like the Choose Your Own Adventure books, yes, there was a story, there was a narrative. If we use that analogy to liken that to our soul agreement, okay, and during the course of our soul agreement, there's various offshoots, like the book, where we can choose which pathway to take. But all roads lead to the end chapter of the book, so to speak. Everything leads in that direction. They're just different experiences leading up to that. And the reason why I bring this up is obviously it is a wonderful analogy to use with our soul's progression, our soul agreements there, and also the agreements of other souls that are interwoven into our life's rich tapestry upon our timeline there. So I find this fascinating, and I could go deeper and deeper, but I feel I would tie not only myself up in knots going in this rabbit hole, but also you as listeners. So we'll leave it there for now, but hopefully that has whetted your appetite in what we're talking about today. So the lessons, like as we say, all add, the vibration adds to the greater collective of the universe, all of these different angles of the story, which adds a different dimension so that we can all appreciate why we are connected to one another. It enables expansion for great learning, it enables us to maybe make more soul alignment choices when we're moving forward in our lives and getting involved in other people's lives. So with this being said, it goes without saying that when we realize that we're a part of somebody else's lessons and somebody's story, they're also a part of our lessons and our story. Everybody benefits. There's not one person that doesn't benefit from being involved with other people on their timelines there. I would certainly recommend that when we look at life from this perspective, that we show a level of maturity and we show a deep level of respect for everybody in your life, whether this is somebody connected to your past, your present, or somebody in your future that you haven't been connected yet. And let's start by talking about people in your past. Now, you may not have seen these people since being a young child or a youngster or whatever the scenario happens to be. Nevertheless, that person helped to shape you to formulate decisions through the gift of contrast within your life. And so did you in that person's life. You helped to give them the gift of contrast. For example, with this, I'm, as you probably have heard me say before, I happen to be a Capricorn, and a lot of Capricorns display these traits, being stubborn, being grounded, connected to nature, not being persuaded to do anything, very much their own person, so to speak. And so with me displaying those particular characteristics, when I played a role in somebody else's life in my past, I was probably more than likely, knowing me, very stubborn, set in my ways, and I was teaching that person maybe the gift of being patient, the gift of understanding other people's needs rather than their own. And perhaps I also later on in life have learned that lesson myself with being stubborn, maybe relax a little bit into life, understand what an impact that you're having on other people's lives with being stubborn and being fixed and being rigid. You're potentially stopping other people from having an expanded awareness because you're not willing to budge or move on a choice or something like that involves you and other parties. So again, we're going very deep with this subject, aren't we? So again, you can see that by showing that level of maturity and respect for everybody in your life story, because everybody benefits from this situation. We're all learning, we're all growing, and in actual fact, as we've just alluded to there, it helps to shape our personality, us as a person, through the gift of the experiences that we've encountered, what we've observed in life, what we've felt emotionally. let's go down that tangent of feeling emotionally. If we hadn't have had interactions with people, we wouldn't have had the emotions that we now can tap in on and use, I would say, as a springboard in order to project us forward in our life. Because without emotions, that helps to govern our choice of free will and our choice processing unit, I would say. Anyway, it does in my life. I get into a feeling before I make a committed choice and agree to do something. And without having those emotions and having had that learning base, that school base of emotional, shall we say, curriculum in my life, I wouldn't be able to do that. So the gift of having people in your life keeps on giving, even if you haven't seen or heard of those people for many, many years. What you learned from that interaction is going to keep on giving you. So showing that level of maturity and respect, because they are your teachers as you are their students, everybody benefits. Moving into that, everybody is a teacher and everybody is a student. Nobody is greater or lesser than anybody else. It's only from an ego perspective that we begin to begin to go down that tangent of, well, I did this, I got that degree, I did this, I did that, you didn't. It's only through the ego that encourages that level of separation to keep us unbalanced, to keep us out of alignment, to keep us from feeling that beautiful energetic library that we're all part of, that we can all tap into at any one given moment for our resources to help us expand and grow and develop as an individual. The ego will take you out of that vibration, from stopping you from having that experience, connecting you to everything and everyone. So by showing love and respect and keeping that statement in your mind, no matter what you're going through, the statement being, we are all a teacher and a student in every given moment. Nobody is greater or lesser than anybody else. Now, this may sound a little bit irritating, I know, and to some it may trigger you by hearing that statement, because let's face it, a lot of us have been brought up, maybe this is through society's indoctrination or, control mechanisms, that there has to be a winner and there has to be a loser. Who says that? Why does they? If we look at that, that's both sides of that coin, a winner and a loser. Both are just experiences when we break it down, a different side of the coin. And you couldn't have a winner without a loser. You couldn't have a loser without a winner. But if we look at the values of each element, everybody benefits because everybody learns, everybody expands, and everybody experiences. So why have that separation? Why not have it as a collective experience and congratulate people for taking part, for playing their role? And I would say, since I was small growing up, this is something that I've always found peculiar. The fact that people celebrate winners and they don't celebrate perceived losers in a situation. For example, if you're doing, a race, a sports day or something like that, the winner gets the big celebrations. Oh, you did really well. But the loser is just forgotten about and laughed at. Yet the loser is part of the story, is part of the tapestry. So why doesn't everybody get that celebration, get that gratitude? Because without the contrasting elements, none of that experiences could have taken place. And this is probably why I'm not into sports or anything where there happens to be a winner or a loser. I don't align with that. I align with experience. I align with celebrating, people taking part and people just having that experience. To me, that is more important. The enjoyment, the experience, being in the present moment whilst you're having that experience, rather than projecting your thoughts, your emotions into the future of, I'm going to win, I'm going to reach the finish line and all of that. To me, that's never aligned with me. I don't know if I'm talking out of turn by saying this, and I don't wish to offend anybody by saying these statements about winners and losers, but this is just my observation. And this, to me, everybody benefits, everybody wins, everybody's equal. It's all about experience. So showing that level of love and respect, removing yourself out of the ego mind, taking a step back and observing all of the connections that we have in our life and just valuing them for what they are and how they've helped you to expand and grow, how you have helped people to expand and grow through various aspects of your behavior. Let's face it, I dare say most of us that are listening to this, we've all played both of these roles in our timeline. We've been somebody that's been quite argumentative, stubborn. We've also been people that are people pleasers, helpful, bring that love and that guidance and that appreciation. We've all played many roles in our life, so we can appreciate, I feel, when we start to focus and hone in onto this, everybody's role in our life. So the next time that you do have somebody new come into your life, just show them that respect. You're not familiar at that moment in time why they're in your timeline, why they're having the experience with you, but all will be revealed. Continue to show that equal amount of respect. I would also say that it's very important when we've gone through situations of contrast with people, and at the time we didn't appreciate them, we didn't like their involvement in our timeline. They may have been quite aggressive, nasty, stubborn, all the traits that generally we don't appreciate as humans. But in actual fact, we need to have these experiences in order to expand and grow. So I would say, in order to make peace in your present moment, your past moments, and your future moments, on some level, at some time, you're going to have to observe your life from a different perspective and honor these people that have shown up on your timeline in your life. By sending them, maybe you've carried a lot of resentment towards these people. When you reach this conclusion that we're talking about, showing the level of maturity and respect, sending those people unconditional love with non-attachment from yourself to those who have hurt you. And what I mean by this is that universal love, the ingredients that bind us all together, where there's no winners, there's no losers, there's just experience, there's opportunity, there's growth, there's expansion. I'm talking about that unconditional love, sending that to them with a view of appreciation for everything that they have taught you on your timeline, the lessons of contrast, and observe how much you have grown and expanded as an individual for having those people in your life and the roles that they had to play. And going back to what we were saying earlier about you making soul agreements with these individuals prior to you incarnating here in your physical bodies, imagine having just this conversation over a big round table there in the world of spirit, and you're there deciding who's going to play that character in your life. And nobody wants to be the bad person, but from that perspective, they can see that it would have a knock-on positive effect in your life. And so, using modern day terminology, they take one for the team and they put their hand up and they'll say, okay, I'll play that role. I'll play that unpopular role. that shakes your life up, that gives you contrast, that helps you to come into more alignment with your true self, that expands your vibration. Okay, I see the value in this role that I'm going to play. Put me down for that role. Almost as if they're signing up to a school play or something like that. I like to use that analogy as I feel that has an element of truth towards it. When all of these people come into our lives and we make these soul agreements before we align with our physicality in this planet there, that on some level, this is what we're doing. And we then hash it out over this big round table and say, well, are you sure you want to play that role? You do know you're going to have to be unkind to me, and you're going to have to do this to me and say this to me and make me feel small. I know, but looking at your timeline, I can see what an impact this will have on your pathway and how much value this will add to your experience on Earth. So, of course, yes, put me down for that role. Of course, I want to play that role in your life because it adds to the greater good, the greater collective. You're going to have an amazing impact on so many souls because you've gone through that lesson. I am prepared to play that role in your life. So by sending that unconditional love to those individuals that have maybe caused you that level of pain, hurt, contrast in your life, if we take it back to, like we're saying, to the beginnings of planning that experience before the experience has actually occurred on your soul timeline, then we can see why. We can see why, and we can show that level of appreciation without having any malice or nastiness within our intentions as we're sending that unconditional love, because in effect, they have helped us to expand and grow the most in our timelines. These characters that have taken one for the team, if you like, in order for the greater good, for the collective. So I find that a beautiful thing, and I often think about this. And this is a way of also helping you to forgive those that have caused that level of upset and upheaval in your life. And it makes that process a lot easier. It helps you to step outside of your ego mind. And the ego mind will want to keep you safe, for one. Your ego mind will want to keep you to be right all the time. So if you've carried that vibration of that person's horrible, they did this to me, they're nasty and all that, your ego mind will keep you at that level. It's only when you step outside of the box, see the bigger picture, go back to the soul agreements, that you then understand, well, no, that's not helping anybody with me holding those beliefs. And so you can release those attachments. You can send that unconditional love, that thanks, that gratitude for that involvement of those individuals in your life. And it's a beautiful healing moment when we go through this. And it doesn't matter where you happen to be in the timeline of your life when you make these realizations and you allow these healings to come to the surface. It actually does have an impact on your past, on those experiences. It rewrites it, so to speak. It comes more into alignment with who you are. There's a level of non-attachment. So perhaps you're going through situations in your life at the moment where you're treading water, you're stuck. Potentially, this could be because you're not showing that level of maturity, forgiveness, and sending that unconditional love back to those areas in your life. So it's something to think about. I know this is a bit of a head scratcher, this show, but hopefully the information that we're bringing forward and the ideals that we're bringing forward will hopefully help you to frame your life a little bit differently so that you can flow with ease and grace and expansion on your timeline there as well. As I say, the people that have played a role in your life have shaped you into the person that you are. So again, it's showing that level of respect and gratitude, because let's face it, without of these experiences, we wouldn't have the characteristics, the sense of humor, the sarcasm, the sense of love and compassion in our lives that we would have if it hadn't have been for these individuals. I know I'm personally grateful for my parents. They played a massive role in my life. and it shaped me into who I am. And what I mean by this is, from being very young, I can always remember my mum and dad would always have time for people. They would always listen to people's plights and what they were going through. They would sit down with them. They would offer them, drinks and a little bit of food there. And they would make that person feel heard, listened to, feel comfortable. And the amount of times that I witnessed firsthand some of these people leaving my parents' home with a smile on their face, with a little bit of a glint in their eye, and more of a pace in their walk, having had that experience with my parents, because somebody had listened to them and shown them that level of love and kindness. So I hold a lot of respect to my parents, because it has on some level brushed off onto me with the work that I do, helping people on their pathway and holding space for people. And I would say that is a lot of it is down to the experiences that I had growing up with my parents. So I'm really grateful. So it helped me to reframe it. I remember at the time, being young, finding it very irritating that these people would come round. I say people, they're like friends or colleagues or neighbours would come round, and I would find it very irritating. Oh, what they come round for? Oh, I bet they're going to stay for ages. And I bet they're just going to talk about the same thing over and over and again. At that time, I wasn't educated enough to realise that what my mum and dad were doing were holding space, showing love, having that listening ear. And even though those people were maybe repeating themselves over and over again, it was a way for that individual to reach that eureka moment by releasing those attachments, by releasing those situations that they're going through, enabling them to heal themselves just by my parents holding space for them and showing that level of love and kindness to them. So I'm very grateful for having those experiences in my life. Like I say, it has helped to shape me into the person that I am. So I would say the next time you come into interactions with people that you've never met before, it's so easy for us to look people up and down and judge them at face value, isn't it? And make an assumption about them before we've even said a word. I would say feel into the vibrational connection. As I say, we're all connected energetically. We all benefit. There's no winners. There's no losers. There's only experience and expansion. And we all, when we take that back step, can have that experience and appreciate it more. So the next time you meet somebody that you don't know in particular, feel into their vibration. And what I'm talking about by saying this is allow yourself to open up a little bit more and focus your attention on your emotions, on your physicality. Do you feel expanded in your heart chakra? Do you feel a sense of comfortability in this person's vibration? Do you feel a level of resistance there building up? Don't make any assumptions. Feel into the energy and just allow yourself to encounter an experience with somebody from this level, rather than surface level, rather than appearance with the words that people choose. Because let's face it, we've all been educated slightly differently. We've all had different life experiences that enables us to choose words where it comes to us communicating with other people. Some people use coarse or bad language because they find that this is a defense mechanism that keeps them safe to express themselves, yet still keep people at arm's length so that they can't be hurt or rejected in some way, shape or form. Other people may be very quiet as well. Maybe that's down to the way that people have spoken over them or kept them small in some way, shape or form. So don't judge people how they communicate with you. Feel into their emotions, feel into their energy. And when you do get a grasp of their vibration, you'll have a knowing of what they've gone through on some level, and you'll get to know them on a deeper level than you would maybe from a surface level there. So something to think about. I'm going to sit back and scratch my head, because this has been a very deep dive, very in depth, and we could have gone a little bit deeper. But I don't want to lose anybody with what we're talking about today. But hopefully it's given you something to look at slightly different in your life, to show that level of love and appreciation, and to value the people and the characters that play their roles in the rich tapestry of your life story. Well, we're now going to move on to the next segment of the show, which is this week's channeling from the world of spirit, which sees me becoming a vessel for spirit to bring their wisdom and communications through. But just before I do that, I'd like to touch base with you all and see how you're finding and how are you flowing in your year of 2025. I know for me personally, I've noticed some significant changes. And one of those changes is actually me taking a bit of a step back. Releasing that urge to control and to fit everything in pigeonhole boxes in order to feel comfortable. And I found myself easing into this year, going with the flow a lot more. I'm listening and waiting for those transmissions to come in from spirit, and I'm trusting them. I'm trusting them, and I'm leaving that space for the universe to come in and to help govern me and encourage me on my highest timeline within this year of 2025. I've also been experiencing quite a lot of interruptions during my sleep patterns, which have been quite peculiar. One of the recent episodes I had was I was finding myself, I was hiccuping all day long. And that's not like me. I don't hiccup. And on that particular day, I wasn't eating lots and lots. I don't eat a lot anyway. But what I did find interesting, I went to bed that evening and I lay in bed still hiccuping. And it took ages to actually stop these hiccups so that I could rest and go to sleep. So that is something that I've already discovered that's quite peculiar in this year of 2025. But I feel a lot better now. Anyway, like I say, we're moving into the next segment of the show, which is this week's channeling from the world of spirit. So I'd like you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the wisdom and the communications and the inspirations, for that matter, that spirit have to bring in for us all.
Thank you for allowing us to come through today. We wish you wonderful tidings during your celebrations in 2024. We know that a lot of you are going to have some very strong breakthroughs in your life. And we're referring to you actually moving out of your own way and saying yes to the opportunities that are presenting themselves right in front of you. These opportunities are the things that you've been wanting and desiring for such a long time. Instead of stopping yourself from receiving them, you're now going to say yes, 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 crikey, yes. And in doing so, you'll be so pleased and vibrant in your energy. You'll emit a different frequency so that all will benefit you from saying yes. And that's what it's all about, really. When you say yes to something that your heart's calling you, you'll notice that others will benefit. Others will benefit from your beautiful shift in vibration as you will be moving into higher vibrational frequencies. And this is what we're wanting to talk to you about today, is that all of these opportunities are open for you. So if you're wanting an increase in salary or wages or income, regardless of what is being promoted to you with finances and all and sundry, we want you to home in on the vibration of that, what you desire, and ignore and block out everything that does not fall into place with your desire and your dream, because the more you focus on, the more that you'll receive of that you're focusing in on. And this technology has been around for millennia, but you have been encouraged not to give it any of your time and attention. We say to you that during the festivities of this year, you will all notice that this is what you desire and this is what you're going to focus on. You're not going to listen to any rules or regulations, because that is pulling your vibration down. It's making you feel small, and it's making you live a life that isn't in alignment with your truth. So this shift is going to move forward into 2025, where although you will be faced with lots of slings and arrows and negativity flying your way, it is a choice whether you choose to give that your time and attention and your vibration. A lot of you, as frustrating as the narrative is that's being projected onto you, will simply choose another timeline. And it's in this new timeline that you will create communities. You'll live your truth, your purpose, and you'll be very grateful that you made that choice. Now, a lot of you in 2025, I know we talk about this regularly for the past few sessions, but we're wanting you to know that this is really your year. It's what you make of it. It's where you focus your time and attention on. And there is going to be a significant change for the majority of you with the vibration of love and coming into alignment with that soul relationship, that soul connection that you've been yearning and desiring for such long periods of time. There'll be a lot of you that will be leaving relationships in order to make space to connect in with your truth and your soul's calling, or soul mate as it is called. You will find that a lot of these truths will be coming up, and therefore there's going to be lots of lessons being learned, and there's nothing wrong with lessons. The only thing that stands in your way from it being a good or a bad lesson is your perception, and your perception will honor that serves your highest good. So you'll start to see the lessons in all of your connections. And in doing so, this will help you move your way through the situations a lot quickly, with ease and grace. There's going to be time for self-reflection during the festivities, to the point where you will have a deepened clarity of who you are as an individual. And to many it may look and appear rather unusual and strange because you're behaving slightly out of character. Maybe you're ignoring the old things that used to entertain you and make you laugh and make you ridicule and point the finger of blame at others. They're noticing that you're not doing that anymore. Instead, you're focusing in on your own lane, and you're focusing in the vibration of love, as we've alluded to earlier. This vibration is very on point, prominent, and brings forward some beautiful healing energies, not only to you, but those that are surrounding you. So we hope that this transmission, albeit short, to the point, brief, has given you something to maybe consider and feel excited about as you're moving into a new timeline. A lot of you, as you may know, may not choose to fall into this vibration of love. You may feel comfortable in the vibration that you're in because it's some vibration that you've constantly been used to vibrating in, and you're quite happy to carry on with that vibration. However, there will be a point on that timeline where you'll come to the end of the road, so to speak, where you'll get zero growth, no accomplishment, and you'll fall into the trap of going into being kept small and feeling in a state of anxious thinking, feeling, and also living. So we applaud you all for listening to this transmission, and we hope that it sits with you and finds you well and gives you that abundance of opportunity, enthusiasm, passion, and love that you need. We wish all of you, and it doesn't matter which choice of life you choose, which pathway you choose, we wish you all great love and abundance. And miracles occur to you all when you least expect it. We're thanking you all for listening and taking part in this transmission. And in a moment, we're going to pass you over to another communicator for some brief sound healing frequencies that will help you jump into this new timeline that we speak of. Thank you for listening. We send you our love.
Fantastic communication there from the world of spirit. Very encouraging to hear that. Nice to hear that we're going to start saying yes to life's opportunities instead of turning them down and ignoring them. And also our vibration is changing, which is always encouraging to know there as well. Also that others will be benefiting from our vibration changing and us saying yes to life and moving with more ease and grace in our lives there. Also stop listening to the rules and regulations of others and those that are in authority. And it's nice to know that we are eventually finding our own pathway and we're trusting our own inner guidance in order to get us through and to exist on our highest timeline. What I did enjoy about the transmission is the healing at the end there. I felt absolutely fresh as a daisy, so to speak. I felt the clearing filtering through my physical and energetic body. My heart was tingling. I got the chills all the way down the physical body there. And also I felt a degree of clarity and felt refreshed having experienced that sound healing at the end of that transmission. I also got ringing in the ears, and I also started to feel more in alignment and balanced as I embraced that energy and sound healing there that was delivered from spirit. So that was fantastic. Anyway, we're going to move on to the next section of the show, which is this week's energy forecast reading, which will hopefully help you navigate your way through the twists and turns of this week ahead. So I'd like you to sit back, relax, take some notes if you feel compelled to do so, and enjoy this week's forecast reading. Hello, my name is Glenn Boddice and I'm a spiritual medium, and welcome to this week's energy forecast reading for the week commencing Monday, the 13th of January, 2025. Now, those of you that watched me work before will know that I connect with my spirit guides and helpers and also consult the wisdom of the Angel Tarot card. So what I'm about to do is shuffle the pack and allow a card to come out for this week's forecast reading. Okay, that's the one. Okay. So this is your card for this week's forecast reading. I'm now going to link into the energy of this card. First of all, I'm being told that this week is going to be the start of things to come. And I'm also being told the end of solitude. And with me saying this, I feel as though there's going to be a connection to like-minded individuals where you feel comfortable in their vibration in order for you to open up and express your true intentions, your true emotions and how you are feeling. And you'll feel in good company when you do this. Also, what I'm feeling is there's going to be a shift in your vibration, your frequency this week. As the year is gaining memento, I feel as though there is that significant shift and split in vibration, and it will see it having an impact on your vibration. So what I'm talking about, your sleep patterns will be interrupted. You'll find yourself going through periods of unusual dream state and out-of-body experiences, waking up feeling exhausted, as if you could do with another 2 hours in bed because the sleep that you've had hasn't fulfilled your rest like it would normally do so. Also, what I'm being told is that in this week, you'll notice there's going to be significant signs being gifted to you from your ancestors, loved ones in the world of spirit. So little reminders of either things that they used to like or that they were involved in, that you can recognize that link between the item that you see, the sign that you see, and them. I do feel as though this is to help you move forward more confidently throughout the course of this year, and this is just to let you know that they're around you in order to help, so you're not on your own. Also, what I'm being aware of is that your eating habits is going to change this week. And I feel as though you're going to be eating little and often, almost like a rabbit or something of that nature, where you're just taking a bite, then carrying on moving, and then a little bite a little bit further on. And it just feels as though you're not going to be interested in big, hearty meals as much this week. However, you are going to be drinking lots of liquids such as mineral water. You'll be finding yourself getting a little bit dehydrated this week, and this is because your cellular structure needs that energy and vibration from water in order to function at a heightened vibration there. Also, I'm being told about numbness in the fingers and in both hands there, waking up in the morning with numbness in the fingers there. So circulation is a must. So if you can get yourself out and about, either on a brisk walk or move a little bit quicker in your day-to-day routines in order to get that circulation running through the system there. In terms of your heart chakra and your emotions, I do feel as though this week we'll see you opening up a lot more. And I feel as though you're going to be more confident in expressing how you feel to people about your emotions, how much you care for them, how much you honor and appreciate them. And there's this beautiful feeling of love there. And also this could ricochet into the form of romance there, where maybe you've been a little bit guarded in the past about opening up and letting somebody in. This week we'll see you actually opening up and expressing your true emotions, and they will be well received, is what I'm being told there. And it will surprise you to the point where you'll be pinching yourself, so to speak. So watch out for romantic liaisons or connections there romantically, building and opening up more so this week. So let's turn over the card and see what the card has to say. So at the top of the card, we've got the angel number 3, which I'd like you to research, as I feel that is prominent. Also, I feel as though there's 3 prominent decisions that you will have to make this week. And rather than internalizing them with the intellectual mind, you need to feel into each one of those situations, one of those choices, and trust your intuition with this one, and know that you will be guided to the right choice that you have to make. Also, underneath that, it says the Empress there. So I believe, with that being said, it's talking about the feminine energy. It's talking about that sensitivity there, trusting the intuition, and also taking your energy and your power back to the point where you're going to make decisions and you're going to stick to them rather than letting them being diluted by other people's opinions, thoughts, and vibrations there. It's going to take a lot of courage this week, but you're going to muster that energy and you're going to stick to what you commit to, is what I'm being told. Let's read the information at the bottom of the card, and it reads creation, abundance, action. Okay, this is connecting what we were saying about sticking to what you say you're going to do and bring it into form. So if you get any inspiration this week, have some plans, bring it into form, write it down on paper. And when you see it on paper, it's going to make more sense to you. And then you'll feel that energy building up within inside of yourself so that you can put that into motion. And this is with you starting the year as you mean to go on, rather than dilly-dallying around. I don't feel as though you're going to waste any time on nonsense this year. This year's a time for expansion, growth, work as well, and also connecting to the high timelines. Looking around the edge of the card, we've got the color of purple around the edge. To me, that represents that you are highly protected this week, as you always are, but more so this week, because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be losing their minds, so to speak, being forgetful. Also, people not knowing which way to turn. And this is why my guides are talking about you trusting your intuition more so this week, because it will help you move forward and keep on moving forward, where other people will remain a little bit stuck and confused and dazed as well. Also, it indicates the world of spirit, as we've said earlier, is going to be around you more so this week. And again, look out for those signs from your loved ones, bringing their presence into you. Again, they're around you to help you, to move you into this new dimension, this new vibration there, so that you can thrive in life rather than being in survival mode all of the time. They want to see you succeeding, and this week you'll notice differences in your vibration and your surroundings there with this influence from spirit. So looking into the artwork of the card, again, we've got this divine feminine angelic being there, talking about trusting your intuition there. It's also talking about you taking some time out to rest. Take that time out so that you can get clear about what you want to do. And then, like we said earlier, put it down on paper, and this will help you to manifest it and have some sort of agenda for this year moving forward. And you'll feel very excited as you move into this energy. It's also talking about mothering, nurturing something new in your life there. I feel as though it's a new timeline, a new life.
It feels like things that you've been wanting to do but haven't had the courage to do and bring into action. This week we'll see you actually nurturing them and actually saying, well, actually, I can do this. There is a way and I can do this. So take your time with it. Take one step at a time and trust the process. I feel as though this week is going to be very, very interesting for you. As we said earlier about you being more open with your emotions, you can see there's a shield there, a heart-shaped shield. That's you taking your guard down and being more open to responding with people and letting people into your environment, into your heart there. There's going to be a connection with other people there, being that olive branch. And you're going to be the middle person that's going to bring people together. Connections will be made and also inspirations coming in there for you as well. So that's what I've picked up for this week's forecast reading. Thank you for hearting, liking, commenting and sharing. If you've enjoyed this reading, you would like to help and support the work that I do, I have got a buy me a coffee link either above or below this video, which is a virtual tip jar. So all of your generous donations will be gratefully received and used in accordance with the spiritual work that I help people on their pathway. Also, if you'd like to book in with any of my services of private reading or forecast reading, then you can either click on the link in the description, or you can go on and go to the link in my bio there. Go to www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com. Join me every Monday with my radio show From Beyond with Glenn Boddice, talking about all things spiritual, paranormal and self-help. And this Monday it will be released on my Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium page as a YouTube link. So look forward to seeing you next week. Have a wonderful week. Take care. God bless. Bye for now.
What an encouraging forecast reading for this week ahead. It's very encouraging to hear that, our vibration is going to change. And also we're going to open up a little bit more. Maybe most of you that are listening have been a little bit closed off with people. So it's nice to hear that we're just going to be living in our truth and not being afraid to emit that vibration into the ether there. So very encouraging. Also nice to hear that opportunities are coming in to our vista there as well. So thank you for tuning in again to this week's show. I hope you've enjoyed the spirit influenced and also channeled information that's come through, and I hope you can take something away from this episode in order to enrich and enhance your experience of this thing that we call life. Now, if you do have any questions you would like to pose to myself or the show or Christina Bloom when we have our episode, then please do get in touch by going over to my website, www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com, or you can email me at glennboddice@live.co.uk. As ever, it would be fascinating to hear from you and also to help you by answering any sort of questions that you have around the personal growth, self-help, spiritual development, also paranormals, ghosts, anything like that. It would be wonderful to serve you in that manner. So please do get your thinking caps on and send a question into the show, and we'll base the episode around that question. Anyway, I wish you a wonderful week ahead, whatever it is you're doing. Do it with love, do it with light, and do it because it brings you joy in your heart and your soul. And I look forward to your company again, same time, Monday, 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. And this is on my YouTube channel and also my Facebook page there, Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium. Take care, everybody. God bless, and bye for now. Thank you for listening to From Beyond. For more information about what products and services Glenn provides, go to Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium